to the cloud. All right, y'all. We are going to be talking about types of skin reactions that people say that they're getting from the DFTs. There are two different types of contact dermatitis. There's allergic, and then there's irritant. I see in the chat all the time, oh my God, my customer's got this, my customer's got that. They're saying they're having a crazy allergic reaction. Okay, hold up. There's two different ways that can go. They could have an allergic reaction, or it's going to be an irritant. I want to say 98, 99% of the time, it's going to be an irritant contact dermatitis, okay? And let me get my PowerPoint up. Share screen. Here we go. I don't have any pictures because once I go over it, you'll kind of see, and obviously if there's some grammar errors, I didn't like spell check any of this, so excuse it. So contact dermatitis and allergic versus irritant. Contact dermatitis is a condition. Oh, sure. Hold on. Hold y'all. It's wacky. Okay. Contact dermatitis is a condition in which the skin suffers inflammation, becoming red, itchy, swollen, and perhaps developing rashes after coming into contact with a specific substance. It is known to be two major types, irritant or allergic contact dermatitis. How many people, I just want to see a raise of hands, how many people on here, oh Lord, where'd y'all go, have had some type of irritated little rash or itchiness from the DFT? I can't see. It's freaking being wonky. Okay, so maybe several of us, I don't know. I give up on looking at my computer. It's being too slow. Okay, well, I get it every once in a while. I usually honestly get it when I'm super stressed. And so my hormones, my histamines that are in my body are just kind of wonky due to stress. And I sometimes will get it like on my forearms. It's usually the only place where I do get the irritation. But I know that it's an irritated type rash due to the fact that it's not setting off a histamine reaction to my entire body. I'm not having hives. I'm not having all of this. It's just a little itchy, prickly rash. Okay, have y'all ever put something on, sprayed perfume, lotion, and you've gotten like just an irritated rash? You've washed the dishes with some type of wonky soap that you might have got from the Dollar Tree or that you never tried before? Okay, that's just an irritation. It's not that you're necessarily allergic to it. Let me flip back over. Just trying to look at everybody's pretty little faces. Oh, no, I don't know how to get back off of it. Okay, I'm just going to read some facts for you, Jordan. All I see is your face and you cracking up. So, oh well, we're good. Okay, allergic contact dermatitis is caused when you come in direct contact with an allergen, such as jewelry, fragrances, dyes, natural rubbers, or plants. This typically presents in a delayed reaction on the skin, or it will come up between 12 to 72 hours after you come in contact with the substance. Remember that it is possible also for your skin to develop a sensitivity or allergic reaction to something that has been well tolerated in the past. An example, anybody in the medical field, I've been in the medical field for a hell of a long time. Back in the day, all we used was latex gloves. Who's used latex gloves? Well, have you ever heard of you building up an allergy after you're using it so much? That's me. If I come in contact with anything latex, I get a crazy, insane rash after I wear the gloves. If we do any type of surgical procedures in the office, they're all sterile latex gloves. We haven't gone to nitrile gloves yet when it's aseptic or surgical technique. So I have to tolerate, I get a rash, okay? And then that's just an example with that. So an allergic reaction can take several days after exposure. It can take several days after exposure for an itchy red rash to develop. Every time your skin comes into contact with an allergen that it doesn't like, your body's immune system responds. AKA, has anybody's kid or have you ever ate something you're allergic to and your whole body just breaks out in hives? That's your body sending a immune response. Like, hey, there's an invader. Hey, there's something going on. Your white blood cells are recruited into the skin, releasing chemical mediators of inflammation. The red raised bumps is inflammation. So we're going to flip over to irritant contact dermatitis. It involves a triggered skin reaction by repeated exposure to a substance. And this can be a painful rash that tends to come on super quickly, okay? Like I said, allergic contact dermatitis, this is not going to develop between 12 to 72 hours after coming into contact with a substance. Irritant is going to happen like this, or at least within a couple hours. I know after I put the DFT on, within like an hour, I'm super itchy and it's really prickly, but it's only usually under the DFT. So irritant contact dermatitis is quite common. It's more frequently encountered than allergic type of contact dermatitis. It's a result of an irritation and breach of the skin surface by a substance. Ho, y'all, okay, DFTs, what do? They go onto our skin, they soak in through our skin, through our epidermis, our dermis, our fatty tissues, all the way down to our bloodstream, okay? For this reason, the nature and extent of the rash depends on how much of the irritant was present and the duration of exposure. Ever wondered why one day your DFT area is normal and the next day you have irritation after applying it? Well, the factor is, may cause the reaction include exposure to wet skin, dry skin, or extreme climatic conditions. So usually another time that I get a reaction or an irritant reaction is in the wintertime when my skin is crazy dry. I know in the chats, in our team chat, that's usually when all of us are having our little irritant contact dermatitis is because our skin's dry, okay? So I'm going to go to this next slide. All right, the outward appearance of skin symptoms to contact irritation are redness, swelling, itching, burning, sometimes blistering. I've never seen that in any of my customers or throughout the chats. And then an allergic reaction can cause symptoms to appear in different areas. Okay, so if you have a customer that comes on, they're like, oh my God, my whole entire body's, actually, I just lied. I have had one customer who was allergic to recharge. And I mean, her body was full-blown hives everywhere. I was like, no, girl, it's not that. But no, it was the recharge. She did break out to it. She was actually severely allergic to something that was in the recharge. It's common, it happens. Obviously, we try to prevent those things, but we didn't know. So back to what I was saying. The allergic reaction can cause symptoms to appear in different areas. She had them on her front, her back, her legs, her face was like, boom. And then she took some Benadryl. Later on, she was good to go. So irritants are typically ingredients that cause a reaction on your skin after contact. Hence, irritants, okay? So try, and if you ever have a customer that's like, oh my God, I'm severely allergic, just politely kind of revert that and just ask them, okay, what's going on? What does the rash look like? And kind of just dig into what's going on with them and their symptoms, blah, blah, blah. If they can't handle it, to go ahead and just tell them to take it off. Some tips to help to try and avoid this is avoid using the same area for 2 or more days. I've been stubborn. I know even on the label, it's like rotate your DFT places. Well, guess what? I spray tan. I don't want to have patches. Sorry, my kids are in the background. I don't want to have crazy looking patches. You know, I gotta. Mommy, push me down. Okay, you'll be fine. Go push her back. I'm not, Mom. No, I'm just kidding. Don't. You'll be fine. So I don't want to have crazy wonker like patches from me spray tanning. So rotate your DFT sites, okay? Another one is hydration. You're supposed to drink half of your body weight in water. Okay, how many of y'all do that? That's all I drink is water. Oh, I know Jordan's gonna do it. So hydration is key, y'all. place the DFT in the freezer. I got this tip from Tracy. Her and her husband, Tracy has super sensitive skin. I have super sensitive skin too. And I got the tip from placing it in the freezer or the fridge. The next thing is avoid thinner skinned areas. Avoid the forearms. Avoid your chest. That's pretty thin. Try thicker skinned area. I did have a lady actually tell me that the only place that she did not have a reaction was on her buttocks. If it works, it works. All right. The benefits to me outweigh the cons of a little irritated rash. Again, find which area works for you. I did put on here, I didn't finish looking it up, but I'm not worried. I did kind of ask Thrive or ask the support system what the adhesive was, but they kind of just told me, hey, it's the adhesive that you use with Band-Aids. Trying to dig into that. If I get more info, I will let you know, and I'll post it in the Thrive Army chat as soon as I find out. Some other ingredients that could cause reactions is the aloe vera. I never knew that. But aloe vera can cause a type of irritated contact dermatitis, and so can the limonene. I'm probably saying that wrong, but that's a type of citrus fruit. Sometimes it can cause also the irritated contact dermatitis. So I'm gonna see who's paying attention, just because I'm wanting to be that person tonight. Raise your hand, or hold on.
Raise your hand.
No,
What?
I won't do that. I'll let you go. I'll let Jordan go ahead and pick up from that. Does anybody have any questions about contact dermatitis, allergic versus irritant? No? All right. Just try and I mean, it is common to have allergic reaction, like I said, but it is, I've had, oh my God, almost around 100 customers. Courtney's had triple that, and I've only had one person who has had a true allergy to it. Again, with the allergy, their body's going to be full-on systemic reaction. You're going to have hives. You're going to be super itchy everywhere. With the irritant, it's just going to be under the DFT, maybe a little bit around the DFT. And again, I won't go into details about how to obviously treat if it was an allergic reaction, but y'all know what to do in case something happens like that. If not, Google it. All right, Jordan.
So we wanted to sort of squish these two together because it was like not enough to cover like an entire nutrition Zoom. So something that we keep hearing in the chats a lot is you come across a customer that you've been working on and you find out they're vegan. And obviously our 3 steps are not vegan. And so I know I've been vegan, plant-based on and off for years and years. I've been pretty much on a vegan diet for the past like 4 years, and obviously I thrive. And so when I see this pop up in the chats, one of my first questions that I would ask somebody if they say that they're vegan is to find out why they're vegan. And this is something that you can literally just be like, why did you go vegan? Like, asking the question is not like a rude question to ask them, because they love talking about it. They'll chatter all day long about it. And there's really 2 reasons that people go vegan. One is the animal rights PETA people, and they're crazy, so just leave them alone. But the other kind are the ones that are going for that health benefit. And so if they're going for the health benefit, you do still have that chance that they might be willing to try Thrive. So I say with the ones that are the animal rights, the PETA, really it's their choice that they don't want to eat animal products for a whole different reason. We don't have a lot of animal products in our 3 steps, but since it does have the shellfish, it has the lactose in it, it's going to be a really big waste of your time trying to convince them otherwise. And I find it slightly rude trying to convince them, because it's sort of their belief of not using animal products. And so if they are for that animal rights, I, talk to them, be nice, but I wouldn't try and get them to thrive just because they're not going to. So it's going to be a really big waste, sort of a waste of your time to try and convince them otherwise. But the ones that are going for that health benefit, you have more likelihood of actually getting them to try Thrive because they're doing it for their health. And obviously Thrive is good for your health because it's a really good vitamin. And so the two main issues that make Thrive not vegan is that it has the shellfish, I can't remember the exact name of it, in the capsule, and then it has the whey protein in our lifestyle mix. But for both of these, they're very minimal into this person and finding out some of the health reasons that they decided they wanted to go for this. Sort of how you do with any other customer, to sort of find out if they're still tired or if they're still facing other problems that Thrive can help them with. And then when you start to bring up like the 3 steps, or if they're asking questions about it, I would just be honest with them and tell them that both of those, the shellfish, we have people who are allergic to shellfish that don't react to Thrive at all. And so the amount of both of those in our 3 steps are very minimal. And some of the health benefits that Thrive could really help somebody on a plant-based diet is vitamins like B12, because B12 is one of those vitamins that is really only found in meat. And so a lot of people that are on a plant-based diet have to find a B12 supplement anyways, because either that or they're eating a lot of nutritional yeast. That's really the only plant-based sort of form of B12 that you can get. And so talking about like the B12 and some of those other vitamins that even on a plant-based diet, I mean, I was on a plant-based diet and still I know I wasn't getting everything I needed because I still didn't have the energy I was expecting to have. And so sort of going from a health benefit angle with them and slowly approaching it and letting them look at it, because if they've gone plant-based, they're ones that like to look up things like I do. And so I know I see that in like the chats a lot, is that people come across that people that are on those vegan diets and not quite sure how to approach it. So really, that's my tips and tricks for approaching somebody on that vegan diet, is finding out why they went vegan, just because it's going to make a really big difference of how you continue the conversation. So if anybody has any questions about people on a plant-based diet, I've done it for so long that I forget. Anybody has any questions? If not, that's really the biggest thing with somebody on a plant-based vegan diet is just going from that health benefit side, because if they went to that plant-based diet for the health benefits, then Thrive is a great sort of add-on and takes care of that B12 that they could be lacking. So, and for the whey protein, if I know for me personally, I'm lactose intolerant, but so little of the whey protein in there, that most of us that have issues with lactose don't really have too much of an issue with the lifestyle mix, especially if we're mixing it with water or almond milk. So, but that's why we combine these two, because that doesn't take too horribly long. But if anybody has any questions, anything anybody wants to add? If not, then do you have a question, Laura?
I have something to add about the contact dermatitis. I have a customer who works in a nursing home, and she would put her black label on her arm because that was the only place she could get it to stay. But she was also cleaning her arms with hand sanitizer every time she walked out of a room. And the sanitizer somehow got under the DFT, and now she has scars from it. So if you have anybody that works in the healthcare field, tell them or urge them to use soap and water on their arms if they're going to put their DFT there and not hand sanitizer. Yeah, because what she really just did right there, so there's ingredients in the DFTs. It starts with a C. It's the one that helps open up like your pores in that area. Well, if you're mixing hand sanitizer into your open pores, that's going to be a hella bad, itchy, hot, nasty mess. So don't do that, guys. Anybody else have any questions?
If
Yes,
not,
no, maybe so. Forever hold your peace.
What?
All right, y'all.
hope everyone has a good night.
Hope you have an awesome night. See you next time.